what's around the next corner.
You're not locked in with two soul brothers doing great things. I'm your host, Will B, with my man Shirai. With the two soul brothers. Come on, y'all. Let's sit down and talk. You can like, subscribe, and make sure you comment. And we're gonna talk about some different topics and going on in life. And right now, we got a great topic. Rod, what's that topic, man?
Man, we're talking about, man, we're on part 4 of life after divorce.
Life after divorce. All right.
Life after divorce, homie. You know, and like I said, you and I have been through it before. You know, we are both at different stages of the divorce. You know, with Phil, he was at another stage. And so I think it's like some potent information that we're giving any man that's either been through it or hasn't, especially those that hasn't gone through it, because at least they can see what it is that we go through when you in that court system fighting that woman that said that she loved you and what possibly could happen. So
Right,
I
right.
got some questions I pulled up, bruh, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read them off, and then we just go ahead and answer it, man, and give these brothers some truth, man. You
All
know.
right. Let me get my pen together real quick while you run through the questions, and I'll see if I can jot down some notes.
All right. Now we got what surprised you the most about life after divorce, good or bad?
What surprised you the most after divorce, good or bad?
Yep,
Wow.
good or bad.
What surprised me the most after divorce was, uh, for me, the the weight that was lifted off of my shoulders. You know, because in the relationship, even though y'all together and you're doing things and y'all loving each other and working through things, there's a weight dynamic sometimes that come upon us as men because we're expected to do a lot of things, you know. So one of the things that happened is when I was driving away from the house once I got put out and things like that, I was driving to my next location to set myself up to stay and live. There was a weight that just sort of overcame me, man. I was driving and crying like, what the fuck was that, man? You know? So
Okay.
it was the weight of just life and pressure and everything that was going on that lifted off of me, man. And then something else that I noticed about after being divorced is my peace and sanity and serenity. Now I got my own place, and when I walk in, I don't have to entertain anybody. It's just like, hey, I'm home. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, when you're married, you have to entertain. You got family, you got kids, you got a dog, whatever the case may be. And it's very welcoming when you walk in, but sometimes your day may be bad. You may be in a funky mood, and you just want to come in and just go and sit down, you know? But then you got to change your mindset and go, you know what? They miss me. They love me. You know what I'm saying? Let me, hey y'all, how you doing? They can see it in my face that something is going on, but we have to do our part and go, okay, dad had a bad day today. I'm gonna just go sit down for a minute. Give me a moment. You know what I'm
Give
saying?
me a moment. Right.
But it's that peace and serenity that I have that I did not have in my relationship. You know, I had somewhat of it, but that was something that I noticed that was different after the fact. You know what I'm saying? What about you?
Man, the what surprised me the most, the bad was when you going for my particular situation, what surprised me the most was it seemed like what she actually thought about me. You feel me?
Oh man, that one too. I
You
didn't even
know,
think about
or
that.
what lengths she went through to paint me out to be this bad guy to the court system, right?
Mhm.
And it's just sitting there, man. It's like, wow, you know, you just wouldn't think that somebody that you married or said they loved you, you loved them, or you wouldn't figure that it would go that route. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, man, I thought we were both adults. I thought, we both talked about it. I thought we both came up to with a mutual agreement on divorcing or splitting up or whatnot, and we were going to take care of the kids together. I just thought it was just going to be one of those things where I was going to be able to just say, you know what, you get them this part of this week, I get them that. I just thought everything was going to be smoother than what it was, right?
Right.
And it didn't wind up being that way. It was a knockdown, bloody fight, all through court, man. That just the things that was being said, and it's like, wow, I just never knew she felt this way about me. And just going through the system at that time, I think it's almost 20 years I've been divorced, man,
Mm.
and just going through that whole situation, it gave me a bad taste in my mouth. I can't lie to you. I often hear men say they don't want to get married because women are gold diggers, and how could men be worried about gold they don't have? And
Mm.
my thing is this: women will, in their revenge phase, will take anything they think you value, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that child support. See, I didn't have to do alimony, but the child support and fighting over child support, and fighting over the time that she wanted me to have the children. So when I
Right.
hear women talk about, who wants to be a single mom? Well, hey, all you women out there fighting a man to not have time with the kids. Y'all fighting for full custody instead of just saying, you know what, you take them. I know you gonna do right by them, and then we'll split that time. And bro, when I say it was a headache, it was a major headache.
Mm.
That was the bad, right?
Right.
The good was I found my peace.
Yeah.
That's when I at that time just left religion alone altogether,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I feel
I
you.
left it alone. It was like, you know what? I started reading my occult sciences, the Hermetic philosophies, and just started reading things on subconscious and how it works. And
Yeah.
it led me into thinking in the universal principles. And
Yes,
it gave me that peace. It
yeah.
gave me, that harmony that I was looking for. It's like,
Yeah.
man, you know, it's nothing like going through a situation with somebody, argue. I went through silence more than I went through arguments,
Yeah.
right? So I get my own crib, and it's like, man, I just sit back, and it's like, man, it was beautiful. It was a struggle at first, and when they say it's
Yeah.
cheaper to keep her, no, it ain't. Your peace of mind is worth
Your peace of
everything.
mind, man. Yeah.
It's just
Trust me, I
worth
know. I'm right there
everything.
with you, bro.
You know, now I'm not gonna lie. You do get to a point where you say, "Did I react too quick? Was it? Could I salvage that relationship?" I had all types of questions going through my mind. Because I hate to view myself as a quitter of anything.
Right.
So I was like, man, I had thought about it for a little while. I was like, man, did I do this too prematurely? Should I have stayed and worked it out? And when I think about the sum total of everything, no, I did the right thing.
You did the
I,
right
I did the
thing,
right thing.
as did I. And going back into some of the bad, I didn't realize it. Like you said, you didn't realize that people thought about you a certain way.
Oh,
My character was attacked. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was like, what, my character? It's like, yeah, your character. Everybody couldn't believe XYZ, so they're looking at your character. And I was like, I'm a solid brother, but okay, you know what I'm saying? But it was okay. You know what I mean? It is what it is,
Yeah.
and I didn't trip on it no too much because I know who I am and the type of brother that I can be and the brother that I am. And the people who know me for sure know my character is 100. You know what I mean? So when I heard that, I was like, wow, people really think like that about me. You know what I'm saying? So it bothered me a little bit in the beginning, like, damn, how would people really, think like that about me if you know me for 40 years, 30 years, or whatever the case may be, and I've never proved you any other way, but now all of a sudden I'm going through a divorce. Now my character is in slight.
Yep.
What
Everything
the
is in
fuck is
question.
that? You know,
Everything
like
is in
what
question.
what what's going on with that? But you know what? Like you say, being a spiritual brother, being into the universe and the metaphysics and the things like that, reading and affirming myself every day, man, it just put me in a better place, and I just let it all be. So whoever has something to say about me, they said what they wanted to say. It didn't bother me one bit. You feel me? So that's
I,
that's where I'm at with it, man. And I've evolved. I've grown in this
yep.
process, and my healing process is becoming so much better. Because this city is fresh, but I'm doing the work, and I'm happy where I'm at in life right now, man. And I have those questions, like you say, like, because mine is fresh, everybody. I've only been divorced 2 weeks. So after 35 years. So out there in the world, it's possible to be in love with someone and have a long lasting relationship, 40 years together and 35 years married. And it can go south. And we split right down the middle. We didn't have no big arguments, we didn't have no fights, anything like that. But things can happen in the marriage that make you say, you know what, I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. And I
Yeah.
lost myself in that relationship. So to be able to find peace within myself, man, it's unfathomable. Can't nobody take that away from me ever again. I won't allow anyone. So that's where I'm at with it.
And you know what, bro? I mean, I won't lie to you, man. Like I said, I could always point out, just concentrate on the bad, the bad, the bad, the bad, the bad, and say she did, she did, she did, she did. But as I matured through the process, I really started to focus on the things I can control, right?
There you go.
And now I admitted in court, I was like, yo, you can attack me as a husband and say I wasn't a great husband. I'm going to give you that. I'll give you that. But the one thing you can't, and nobody, I will not allow anybody to try to knock me on is who I am as a father.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to fight you on the accusations. Yup, I cheated. Yup, I did those
Yep.
things. Um, was I not present a lot of times in there? Because, yeah, you're right. I wasn't present because I didn't really want to be there. You know, I got married solely because we were having children and I was irresponsible. I was drinking at the time, the whole 9 yards. I was very irresponsible, you know, throughout the whole process. But when it comes to being a father, that's the one thing nobody can ever question me on.
Ever.
You
No
know what I'm
doubt.
saying? And and it's like, okay, I navigated, man, the things that that you go through, man, when you look at your check and you done worked all the hours you've worked, bust your ass in a plant, and then you see $35 for a check. You know, I got
How
this.
can you survive, man? You
They
know what I'm
didn't
saying?
care, man. They
How
didn't
can you
care.
survive? That doesn't even make sense. So they just gonna tax you like that,
Oh
not
man,
just not caring about your wherewithal or well being. $35, that's not gonna help you do anything.
bruh.
But you
But you
managed,
know what?
you know.
But that taught me something though, man. That taught me who I was, right?
Yes, sir.
Because I could have easily said, I'm going back to the streets. I'm
Yeah.
going back to hustling. Whatever Uncle Sam take, I'm gonna make. I'm going
Right,
back.
right.
But I didn't, bro. I didn't. I fought it. I fought it. I fought it. You go you go without because the
Mm-hmm.
children need. Um, man, the house that I'm in now, the woman that I bought the house from, she watched us grow up. So she moved away, and people were trying to strip the house. So she was like, yo, I need somebody to take it. I'm like, boom. So we set up, we did the land contract and everything. And it was like, bro, I made it do what it do. I
No
didn't
doubt.
have, yeah, I didn't have everything that I wanted. You
Right?
know, the children didn't have everything they wanted. And that hurt the most when
Yeah.
they're asking for things, you can't give it to them. And it's not like, I'm not buying it for you because you don't deserve it. I can't buy it for you. I'm not getting it for you because I can't afford it,
And afford it.
you know.
Yeah. That's it.
And and then you got the other parent getting all your money that you're working for. And it's
Yeah.
like, so it's a trigger for me when I hear women say, y'all crying over that little money. Yo, if it's such little money, well, why you need it?
Come on. Speak on it.
And then on top of that, I had 50-50 custody still paying full child support.
Mm. Lord have
So I had
mercy.
to fight that, man. So what I learned, the good that came out of the bad situation was I realized what kind of person I was. You know what I'm saying? And everybody around me that mattered to me saw what kind of man I am. And
Yeah.
then the biggest compliment is what your homeboys coming to you, complimenting you on what kind of father you are.
Yes, sir. I've gotten that
When
from
you
my siblings, from my friends. Like whatever was said about you, they can't take away that you raised the fuck out of them kids, bro. Them kids, my two children are smart and well. They know dad. It was traumatizing to them when everything happened, but both of them let me know, hey, I know this is going on, but you still dad, and you taught us a certain way and I believed in that. So it's sort of weird to see everything fall apart like that, pops, because the way you raised us. You know what I'm saying? So that means I did my part.
yeah, bro.
I did my
It
part. So
that should touch your heart, man. When your kids understand, especially because see when they were younger, I couldn't explain things away to them because they weren't going to understand it. Their mom was telling them certain things, and I didn't want to be the other parent on the, like the good angel, bad angel on the shoulder
yeah,
type of
yeah,
deal.
yeah,
So, like I remember being told that when you're a man going through this situation, your children will not understand you until they mature. So you're gonna have to
yep,
wait. So I had to
yeah,
wait. And
yep,
now my children come to me. It's like, hey, I'm always been here. I've always been here. If y'all wanted anything, I got you whatever I did whatever I could for y'all. But as y'all was growing up, I was not gonna have that fight. Your mama this, your mama. I wasn't gonna do that.
yeah,
And
never, never.
so the good was I realized how patient I was. Cause
Hmm.
bruh, I wanted some days I just wanted to go tear some shit up, man. But it's like, you know what? Hey man, what it made me do is go inside myself, see who I
Yep,
was, and I found other ways to get rid of the anger.
yes, sir.
Till
Yep,
till it got to the point where there was no anger left.
yeah. I feel you. I feel you, bro. Man, that was powerful, bro. Powerful.
I hope these young cats listen, man. And you can do all the right things, right? You can do all the right things. Pick the right woman, the whole nine. But the thing is, when you're in a relationship, growth is inevitable. Y'all gonna grow.
Yeah.
Sometimes y'all gonna grow together.
Yep.
Sometimes y'all gonna
Sometimes
grow
you.
apart.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, when y'all grow apart, sometimes you just gotta let it go.
Go. And
And
that's basically
hopefully
what
you let
happened
it
to
go
us.
and be mature
Happened.
about it.
Never know what's around